trash on my hard drive and had to recycle it. I just don't have any records right now.
You know what's weird?
Something?
They just started keeping those records for you at the NSA.
Wow,
they
really
learned
convenient.
from Lois Lerner. They don't have anything on her. You know, the deal is in. The deal is in. You know, so at some level, here's the conversation that is that's happening. Gee, Mr. President, I don't know. We're still looking for those Lois Lerner emails. Now, I'm not saying the president is having this, because I don't think the president even knows what's going on. He's too busy golfing. But somebody is having this conversation. I think we have them, though, but we're going to look. I'm not sure. Hey, Bob, let me, in a completely unrelated conversation, aren't you guys looking for those appropriations? You guys had something. I saw something a while back, and I was talking to one of the senators about this, and I really think we could really mount a really strong campaign to get that job done that you've been looking for a while. Oh my gosh! Well, if that would happen, that would be very, very helpful to us, and I think that would be great. Yeah, absolutely. I can call up some senators and some congressmen today and get that moving here in the next few months. Okay, well, thank you. But let me just go back to I'm sorry, I lost track there for a second. Let me just go back to I don't think we have those, but I'll look for those records of Lois Lerner. That deal is in. Mm-hmm. I don't know who's had it. It's certainly not at the levels that, of the president, but those conversations are happening.
And
right
don't you think, it seems to me, and the polls seem to be backing this up, that because we've seen so much of this, and it's over and over and over, and despite the cover that he's gotten from the mainstream media, it's starting to break through to even his supporters that something is radically wrong here, and they've had enough.
Yeah.
And that's why, Chuck Todd and Joe Scarborough were discussing the latest poll numbers. I think it was it was the Wall Street Journal poll, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
NBC Wall Street Journal.
NBC Wall Street Journal poll, and that's what these two are discussing. Listen to this.
It's hard to believe, though, as you look at these poll numbers, that Bo Bergdahl and Iraq and all of the other, and Syria, Ukraine, and all these other foreign policy crises are weighing the president's numbers down 41%.
A total drag. This is, and never mind that at home, VA also hit him on a competency.
Oh my gosh!
Look, this poll is a disaster for the president. What's interesting about it is that it's not a disaster for the Democrats, and I'll separate that out in a minute. But you look at the presidency here: lowest job rating, tied for the lowest on foreign policy,
tied for the lowest.
His administration seen as less competent as the Bush administration post Katrina. Sorry.
Wow.
Or actually, you'd be happy about.
She's happy about that.
I imagine.
But she doesn't like that. That's the standard.
That's the standard.
That's the standard of how low can you go? That standard.
And then on the issue is, do you believe he can still lead?
Right.
And a majority believe no. Essentially, the public is saying your presidency is over.
That is absolutely phenomenal.
Amazing.
More incompetent than George Bush after Katrina.
Yeah.
And look at and here's the real number. If that number is at 41%, that real number is probably about 28%. Because look what was done to Bush on Katrina. Bush was on the phone the weekend before begging Ray Nagin, evacuate the city, get the city evacuated. Remember that? Mm-hmm. That was never put in the press. The president we had troops there really fast. We did everything we could. It was the state and local government that broke down. But the press made it all about George W. Bush. Van Jones was down there pushing that, he hated black people and everything else, or he hated white people. and so that just fell apart, just absolutely fell apart for George W. Bush. Look what's happening here. Nobody is tagging this guy with all the problems. That's just in our gut. We just know. This is not right. This is not the way things should be going, and we do know the president is responsible.
And it's taken 5.5 years of a serious beating